Welcome to the Read Your Keys podcast. I am your host, Joel Lopez. If you're enjoying the podcast, please go ahead and smash the appropriate like, follow, subscribe buttons. I'm on, YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify. Today, another special edition of the Read Your Keys podcast, the Read Your Tweets edition. I have my friends, Abe Lopez. What's up, primo?
¿Qué pasa?
Take Heart Monica. What's up, Yins?
Hello.
What was that?
What's up with you?
We're doing a podcast, so that's what's up with me. It's been a few weeks. I like doing this. I don't know if they do, but they keep on saying yes every time I ask them to be on. So I'll just keep on asking.
We don't want to make you cry.
Yeah.
I'm very
There's a
sensitive.
gun just off screen that's making me do this.
I am very sensitive. I'd like you to know.
We can tell.
It might not come across.
Well, it comes across.
It comes across.
Yeah.
Was it like on the Batman movie when he's like the Jack Nicklaus version? He's like flipping out, but he's like, inside, I'm crying on the inside. That's how I feel. But we've got some tweets that we're gonna look at today that I thought either were interesting, humorous, or astute observations. So, do you guys like that word, astute? That seems like an Abe. That seems like an Abe word, astute.
Yeah, I like astute.
You like astute?
Yeah.
What's it mean?
It means you're like smart and stuff, or you're very observant. It's like
I'm not astute because I don't know what that means.
When you say that's a very astute observation, it's like you see something more than most from a situation like Sherlock Holmes. The reason that he's such a good detective is because he makes astute observations.
Interesting.
I can use words and kind of think and kind of get them and use them properly without really knowing what they mean. That's why I waited for Abe to give the definition, because I couldn't really define it. I just kind of know what it means, and I know I'm using it in the right context. I was like, let me use this.
I think we all
as long as you know that you're basically like 80% right on something, go ahead and just use it, because that 20% of the time, if you use it and it's not exactly right, most of the people you're talking to aren't going to know anyway. So
yeah. See, Abe, you're like the sniper, and I'm like the shotgun. It's like, I'm just gonna spray this over here.
That's right.
I think I'll be in the general area.
Yeah, and most of the time, the shotgun's what you want anyway.
They're fun.
Yeah, home invasion, probably nothing better. You're just gonna all you're gonna have to do is mop up a little bit of your drywall, and that's it. If you have a sniper rifle, you're gonna have to go and explain to the neighbor why his dog's dead.
Yeah. They let you shoot guns over there in Pittsburgh, Monica? Or is that it's outlawed? Banned?
No, we can shoot guns.
Straight to jail.
No, you shoot whoever you want.
Right to jail.
Right to jail.
Yeah.
But if you don't pay your electric bill, right to jail.
Yeah.
No, if you pay your electric bill.
Oh, if you pay it. And they got it wrong.
Yes.
Straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, in Arkansas, if you don't shoot a gun, right to jail.
Oh. I'm gonna have to go take a trip to Arkansas. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I don't eat pork though, so I don't know if I'd fit in. They're like, you don't eat pork?
Nah, they got plenty of other stuff.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's like you have beef ribs, sir? Oh, I'm up. Beef ribs, please.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our first tweet. Let's see, where am I at? Share my screen. That's not it. I think I closed it out. Oh, no, I didn't.
This is the Joel struggles with technologies portion of the
podcast. That's like Abe. That's like Abe. Can you help me, please? Abe, help me.
Yeah. Press the share button. That's it.
There it is.
That's all it takes.
Boom. He can be taught. Our first tweet is from our friend Mark Allen Beauvert. Is that French?
Yes.
OVR?
Beauvert. Ooh.
I don't know.
Ooh la la.
I'm not French.
We'll have to ask him. His tweet: when I was 16, everyone had a driver's license and a job. Now I know people getting their first job at 25 after grad school. No joke. This was an astute observation.
Yeah. Use that correctly. There you
I did. How old were you when you got your first job, Abe?
go. Officially or unofficially?
Oh,
Unofficially,
black
I
market
worked
work.
in the,
Let's hear this
well,
story.
I worked in the fields for a couple of summers when I was like 14 and 15. Get a few extra bucks, kind of paid in cash. But officially, yeah, basically right at 16, started working at Burger King.
What did you prefer, working in the fields or working at Burger King?
At first, working in the field. Well, actually, either one's fine. But yeah, Burger King gets old pretty quick.
Well, did they give you free food at least?
You get, I think, a 50% discount. But the thing is, $7 at the time. Was it? No. It wasn't that much. It was $4. Yeah, that's right, $4.25 when I first started, and then the minimum wage changed, and it was $4.75. So I was rolling until after that. But you figure it's like you're making that much, and then you get 50% off on food. But even if you have a meal or whatever else, it's a pretty good chunk of your paycheck if you do that every time you work. So
yeah. So did you bring your own lunch? You just not eat for 8 hours?
If you're working around food and it's like, hey, some of this stuff's gonna go to waste anyway, just skimp a little here and there, I guess.
Eat out of the dumpster.
No.
Yeah. Or right before it goes to the dumpster. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take these tenders that are expired. I'm gonna go take them out there real quick. And they're gonna be like, why didn't the door ever open? Never mind about that. Let's keep on going.
Mm. What did they have you picking?
Doing San Luis Valley in Colorado. You have a lot of potatoes. And
Yeah,
you have,
I remember you talked about potatoes on the podcast. So you were knee deep in potatoes, huh?
Oh yeah, and that was their source of pride, is that it's better than Idaho potatoes. Those russets, that's nothing. Go to southern Colorado, and they're, for whatever reason, like the soil is really good for potatoes. So going out there, and a lot of it is just you're still going through and weeding. Well, before they actually start harvesting the potatoes and stuff. So that's what they had me mostly doing.
Oh, so you weren't out there during the harvest? You could be like,
no, not during the harvest or whatever else. No. Yeah. If they did chop off your hands if you try to, their potatoes are so good, chop off a hand. Just helping out the farmers or whatever else.
It's like it was in the Middle East, and thieves, they get their hands chopped off.
Yeah.
Don't mess with those potatoes.
Don't mess with potatoes, man. Come on. SLV potatoes.
Hey, so your under the table job at 14 probably made you more than your Burger King job because you got taxed on it, right? Yeah. So it's like, hey, here's $5 an hour.
Yeah, it probably was like $5 an hour, something like that. Yeah, and then you start working for the man. You get $4.25 an hour, but then the government comes in and says, hey, we need a little too.
So. We need our piece.
Yeah.
How about you, Monica? First job?
Two things. So one, my first real job, but it was still under the table because I was too young. I worked at a pizza place at 13, and I also worked at a hair salon washing hair. So I always worked, but I was thinking about this, I'll talk to parents and they'll be like, I have to find a sitter, and their kid's 14. When I was 11, I was watching the entire neighborhood, and I would stay there all weekend. I would be with the kids all weekend, staying overnight with no adults around.
Oh, no way. And you were an overnight sitter?
Yeah. And all their friends would come over, and their parents would know I was the only one there, but they were just like, oh, she's 11. She's old. She can do this. Now kids are literally 16, and their parents are like, oh, they won't know what to eat. I'm like, what's wrong with you kids? I was cooking them food.
We were left alone.
What was a 11-year-old Monica making for 7-year-olds?
Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese, yeah. My kids love macaroni and cheese. I think every kid loves macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah.
It's a good catch-all food, that or ramen noodles. The easiest thing in the world to make, and it's all you need is just water. As long as you can boil a little bit of water or microwave some water, here you go.
I think I looked it up the other day. I don't think there's actually any laws in a lot of states of how young kids or how old kids have to be to stay at home by themselves. But when I was a kid, we thought the rule was 11. So I watched a bunch of 10-year-olds, they'd be 10, I'd be 11 and I'd be watching them. The worst was my neighbor one time. I had just moved in this new neighborhood, and we had a neighbor across the street. My neighbor was 10. I was 11. He had a crush on me wrote me a love letter, told me to meet him at the end of the street on a specific day because he had a Christmas present for me. I never went, and then his mom asked me to babysit him, so I had to babysit him like 2 days
You had to
later.
babysit your crush. Oh,
no.
that's the worst.
It was so awkward. I was like, you have to go to bed, but like I'm not gonna tell
And
you
see,
what to do,
in a boy's mind, he's thinking, oh, she did this on purpose. She made it so that, she would be my babysitter because she wants something to happen.
Yeah.
And this whole time you're like, no, just go to bed. Just leave me alone.
I still like, I ask him all the time because I still know him. I'm like, what did you get me for Christmas? And he's like, I have no clue, but
It's a long time ago.
you traumatized me by babysitting me.
He's traumatized.
Yeah, like liking a girl and then she doesn't show up, and then
Now you have to
And she ends-
babysit.
you.
And then she ends up being the authority figure.
That's like worse than being
Oh.
friend zone, like your babysitter zone.
Yeah, that is. Oh my
That's like
gosh,
boss
that
zone
poor
is what
kid,
it is.
man.
Yeah.
Is he doing all right?
You know.
Oh no, you
Anytime
ruined
he
him.
eats macaroni, anytime he eats
Still
macaroni and cheese, he
heartbroken.
starts crying.
Yeah.
You have just these interactions that you just like, you can't make. It's like you can't. Okay, even if he tried, he couldn't make that stuff up.
Well, he
I
was
broke his
so
heart,
so
and then I had to
embarrassed.
babysit him. Yes, he was embarrassed.
Well,
Like,
he was so embarrassed for years. He like wouldn't talk to me, wouldn't acknowledge me, just like acted like he was too cool. I was babysitting him again, and this is when laser pointers-
again?
Yeah. Well, I
Hey,
watched
poor
his sister.
bastard, man.
I watched his sister too. So like, I was at his house one day, and laser pointers had just gotten invented, and my cousin was over, and she gave me one. Now I had been watching him and his sister, but like he was off something, like hiding in his room. So we go outside and we hear him go down to watch TV, and we go outside and go to the window and shine the laser pointer at the TV, and he had never seen one before. So he like freaks out. We run and hide. We go back to my house. He comes and knocks on the door. Like after not talking to me for like 2 years, he knocks on the door. He's like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like he thought he was getting sniped.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did.
This poor kid.
But why would you say yes if you knew you were going to have to babysit him?
Why would I say yes? What?
To babysit, like that's like an awkward situation. You know you're gonna walk into
I
that.
didn't care. They were
You
paying me
didn't
money.
care.
You're making money,
You are so cold-blooded. That poor boy, man. I can't top that. What did I start? I started working. My family, we all worked at In-N-Out, so that was like our family.
Your
our
whole family?
Yeah, it was like our family business.
Together?
It was like you turn. No, we were all at different places, but it was just super flexible, and they paid pretty good. So it was like, all right. So I don't have any stories about it because we worked pretty hard. It was
I have
like
a question because they say you don't really like to and end up eating at places. You end up working because you see how this they basically say how the sausage is made or whatever
Mhm.
else, and it's kind of true. It's like I can't have anything. I mean, I don't really have too much fast food in general, but like certain places are fine, but I really can't have like Burger King anymore because I work there and you're just kind of
Mhm.
around there. And I don't like the smell or whatever else. Then In-N-Out's pretty good. Can you have In-N-Out?
I have it
Not
all
a
the
big
time.
deal to you, or
I have it all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah, In-N-Out's great. But I
Yeah.
think it's also what everything's how they make everything and everything else too. 'Cause
Yeah.
Burger King was not that great in some respects.
They were really cool with me because like it would be like football season. I'd be like, all right, see you later. And then so I'd be gone. And then like as soon as football season was over, I was like, okay, I need to work some more. I'm out of money. And they're like, oh, okay, go back to work. So it's
You
pretty
just
cool.
went- So you just went in and out.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But I was dumb. Like I thought like they actually make pretty good money, but like I thought it would be smarter to like focus on college and stuff like that. I probably would have made more money just
You
working
You
idiot.
could
it.
have still been working it in and
Yeah,
out.
I could have been.
Yeah.
But I would have to shave my
Could've been-
beard. They
you
didn't
could
allow
have been
facial shave.
regional manager
facial.
by now, man.
Oh yeah, I could have been somebody. I could have been somebody instead of. But I grow a nice beard, so I guess that makes up for it.
Yeah. The worst part when I told you that we went from 425 to 475. So everyone starts at 425, and like they give you like a nickel raise, like after like a month or two, whatever else there's like the first quote unquote raise. But there have been some people that have been working there for like 3 or 4 years, and they were like at 465 or something.
Ooh.
Then all of a sudden, everyone was making 475, and their raises didn't travel with them, so everyone was at 475 all of a sudden. They're like, what's my incentive for like still?
Yeah.
Yep, but that's minimum wage jobs for you. That's how it
Screw this
goes.
place. You know, the thing too that was cool was we got our meals for free, so that I always get like a burger and fries, and we used to get shake. And so like I was always trying to gain weight, so I would always be like, oh, let me get some extra meat on there. I don't know if they do that now, but like if anybody, like if they had made an extra burger, like who's gonna eat it? Joel will eat it. Call him. I'm like, oh, I'll be happy. So I was making money, and I was eating at least one meal. Yeah, at least one meal. I'm kind of a skinny fat guy.
I miss that, like just working just random jobs, like no pressure, you know, like I worked at the movies and it was the best job in the world. We got free movies, free popcorn, and would work hard for like an hour while people were coming into the movie. And then while they were in the movie, we would just goof off.
Yeah.
It was like the funnest job in the entire world.
You know what? I just saw a sign like McDonald's is paying like $18 an hour or something like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
If I didn't have to wear a mask, I would be like, hey, I'm gonna go work at McDonald's for a little bit. It's just like I'm gonna take a pay cut, but man, like
so fun.
This is nuts though. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that movie? The Kevin Spacey movie? He gets like his wife is like cheating on him. Beauty.
No. Beauty. American Beauty. Sorry.
Yeah, he works at the fast food restaurant, right?
Yeah, and he catches her. Remember?
Yeah.
In the drive-through.
Yeah.
She's over there with her lover or whatever else.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you want fries with that?
The real estate king.
Yeah.
But he was having a great old time. And I was like, dang, that might be kind of, I actually, you know, it's funny when I have dreams about work, it's never my actual job. It's always like I'm working at In-N-Out. those are my work
stress dreams.
Those are my work dreams. Like I never like, it's not my job now that I've had for years. It's I gotta get the fries off. The fries are ready and they got to get out. So those are my stress work dreams.
Yeah, the only time I had real big stress work dreams was when I was a welder. And
you were a welder?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a welder.
You've lived such an interesting life. Picking potatoes, welding, writing books.
Welding.
He's getting ready for the apocalypse. That's why.
Yeah, well, you have to know, you have to have all these different kind of skills, you know, because when the apocalypse happens, if all you know how to do is talk about gender studies, then you're kind of like you're gonna be pretty dispensable. But if you know how to weld, you know how to hunt, you know how to you can
farm a little bit, right?
Yeah, you've got to be a jack of all trades. So and it's like, oh, you're pretty resourceful. We'll go ahead and keep you around. We're not gonna make you next week's meal.
We're not gonna vote you off the island.
Have Mexican next week.
No,
but but yeah, when I was a welder, you know, we'd be on the production line or whatever, and they had we built what they call open web steel joists. So they're kind of like beams, but they're made out of a lot of different kinds of metal. And so depending on what part of the line you were on, and I was on the base plate portion for a long time, and you'd have to go through and measure and do these things. And I'd have these dreams for when I first started for like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, where my alarm would go off. I usually hit the snooze button once or twice before I get up and go to work. And I in my dream would be like, oh, I got to put these base plates on before I can hit the snooze bar. And it would screw with your mind. You just be, your mind would be constantly, at work, whether you were dreaming or whether you were sleeping or not.
How awesome though is it to do that move where you have the mask on your head and you just go.
No, the thing is though, that wastes a lot of time. Do this, you look there. What you would do is you'd weld one part, and then the next one will be over here. And all you do is you flip it up, and as it's going up, you look where you're at, and you don't even use your hand. It flips back down as you're going on. And if you're really good, you can just go through that. All you do is flip it up just a little at a time, and just do this. But so that that's. Then we had the really cool ones where you had a little shield on there, but it had a little sensor on it, and so you could actually see when it was light enough. And then as you started welding, it would flash. And if it gets bright enough, it actually darkens. And that's you had to pay a little extra for that, but that actually worked out really cool. You didn't have to bring the mask up at all. So some pretty cool technology for welders.
I think in the zombie apocalypse, I'm at the drive. Like, where would I go? It's like, you can go to Mexico. It's like, I don't know. I'm at to find my cousin Abe in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And get some land. He's got the welding machine. We can plant some potatoes. We got guns.
You can make yourself an armored house with that welder. Yeah.
How about you guys' first car? That's what something you talked about. It's like being 16. Like I remember when I turned 16, I got my driver's license right away, just because it was like, yeah, dude, like, get your license, because we would like rag on each other. Like once you turn 16, like you got your license. So if you didn't have your license, you would get made fun of. Like I didn't even have a car, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my driver's license, because when I do get a car, I'm gonna be ready to roll. But I guess kids nowadays, they're not getting their license either.
It's not a big deal to them. It's that freedom or that independence, and I think they'd rather be comfortable than independent. And you see that in a lot of different parts of society. And I think the car is kind of a microcosm of that. It's like, yeah, it's cool to be able to go around, but it's also responsibility, and you have to learn how to do these things. So I'd rather just have somebody either drive me or just call an Uber whenever I want to.
Yeah, I can be on my phone while I'm in the car.
Right.
I didn't get my license till. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't get my license till I was 19 because I didn't have anyone to take me. And one day my my friend's mom was like, "I'll take you to get your license." I'm like, "Well, I never drove before," and she was like, "That's okay. I'll show you on the way there." So she taught me how to drive on the way to the DMV. I parallel parked like right outside. I took the test. I did fine. I don't know how. And then I had to parallel park, and I was like this, and like this, the parking spot. I was like this. And the guy was like, "Well, you're in the lines." So that was a Saturday. On Monday or Tuesday, I bought a car for $400. It was a 1986 Chevy Caprice. It had a huge dent in it. The seats were broken, so I had to sit on a pillow. The windshield wipers didn't work.
Did you have a crate in the back seat to keep it from going all the way back?
No, I didn't think of that.
Oh.
But I had the kid that had it before me tried to pimp it out, so it had rims on it, and it had fluorescent lights that moved to the music. And my friends would make fun of me so bad, but I'm like, you guys don't even have a car. Shut up.
Yeah.
We would like write things on it, like autograph the seats. I would let them key it. Like it was just a hot mess. But the back seat was so big because the seats were broken. We would play guitar back there, and like we camped out on it a bunch of times. It was so fun. It was such a piece of crap. It was always stalling, and it was great.
Did it have like that exhaust, that kind of like
Well, I actually ran over. My friend pretended to jump in front of me one day at a Taco Bell, and I swerved and I hit a curb, and the muffler like was dragging on the ground, and it was so loud. Like I'd wake up the whole neighborhood. It was ridiculous. But I literally had to learn driving. Like I remember I was living at my friend's house at the time, and she'd be like, "Let's go to the store." And I'd be like, "All right, but we have to go when no one's on the road because I don't know how to drive yet." So I'd be driving like real slow, and like she didn't even have her license, but she'd be like trying to help me park, and it was so dangerous. Like praise the Lord, I never got into a wreck or anything.
This is during
But I think I'm a better driver because of that.
Is this during the snow season too? Because that's a whole nother
in the summer.
Oh, okay.
No, couldn't have done that.
I'm in Arizona, and I drove in the snow for like the first time like 2 years ago. I don't have snow tires or anything. Oh, I was so stressed out, man. I had the kids in the car and everything, and I'm going extra slow, and it's just sliding all over the place. I was like, I'm pretty sure I got like 10 gray hairs just from that trip alone. I can get wound up pretty tight. I was wound up real tight. I was like, let's go home. That sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
I was driving one time in the snow, and like I guess you're not supposed to hit your brakes, but like that's your natural reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a guy in my car, and I was like, "Okay, what do I do? We're coming up to ice. Like, what's the best thing to do with my brakes?" And he starts mansplaining friction to me, and I'm like, "I'm gonna kill us. Like, just answer me."
Yeah, I actually rolled my first vehicle because of ice.
Oh, really?
In Nevada, yeah. I had a little. It was such an awesome little truck, an '85 Toyota 4x4 that my stepdad and my mom. It was actually theirs, and they ended up giving to me when I was like 16. So I had my license like 4 or 5 months, but in Nevada, and it gets pretty cold in northern Nevada and everything else. And we'd gotten a little bit of ice, and I'd driven this guy home. On my way back, there were a couple of curves I didn't account for, and I was actually doing all right as I was going. It was a manual, and I downshifted. I was doing all right, but then I started kind of sliding sideways, and I hit the brakes, and I just put me sideways all the way, and I rolled it a few times. So yeah, that kind of sucked. Yeah, so, actually, been in a lot of snow. Snow's not that big a deal. Ice is the one that just kills you.
All right,
there's not much you can do about it.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Dave. I'm gonna tell my story first, and you tell me if this happened to you too. All right. So my first car was a purple Pontiac Grand Am. I think it was like a 1998 or something like that. I called it Grimace because it was purple, had a purple stripe on it. But I was following my wife at the time, or we were boyfriend girlfriend at the time. So I was following behind her. It was rainy, and I wasn't going very fast at all. That I didn't think so anyway. And I was going around a curve, and then I lost control, and it kind of went on the opposite side of the road, and then it rolled over. But as it was going over, I hit the curb, and I could feel it rolling over. And I swear I said this. I felt so stupid after. I was like, no. I was like, I really said that like it was in the movies. Like I really nothing else.
Like was gonna do something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was like, no. And I still to this day, like I was so stupid, man. Did you audibly scream no?
Oh yes. That's all I did. Because I was like, well, I'm boned. It's like nothing I can do about it now.
It was like the Darth Vader. The Darth Vader, no! I was like, because I remember I called I talked to my buddies a couple of days after, and I was telling the story, and I was like, dude, I even did the whole no thing, and we were just dying laughing. I was like, I can't believe I said that, man.
You're such a beta, man.
Oh my gosh,
I've never done that.
Who would have
been like,
oh
yeah,
no,
this is happening.
no.
I'm gonna make it not roll.
Oh no, yeah, exactly. I would have spun it around the right direction and course corrected.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I still laugh at myself for that. I was like, oh my god, I can't.
More
believe
than anything, I was just pissed because it was such a nice little truck. It was just just great be able to get around. It was so it was such a nice feeling to be able to get wherever you wanted to and go to work and everything else. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and give this guy a ride to you needed a ride home or whatever else. And I was actually working on my break. Because drove him over. There's a little Indian reservation right out of the town where I used to live in Nevada, and he lived on the res. So I drove him out there, and I never been out there before. And I remember the couple of curves as we were going out there, and he even told me, "Hey, watch out for this on the way back. They're a little steep." But it had started raining, and it gotten colder, and so it got a lot of ice here on the way back. And I wasn't thinking about it, and I was going along, and all of a sudden I'm on this big bank. I'm like, oh no. And I was doing all right, because like I said, I shifted down. I started slowing down a little bit, but then it started sliding, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, the ice is no joke. I mean, I was dealing with the rain, but I didn't think I was going very fast, but I probably was going faster than I should have been for the curve. But I mean, I had taken that curve hundreds of times, even faster in the rain, so I didn't think it was that big a deal. But I'm not thinking about it right now. I probably hadn't changed my tires in a long time, so yeah, I was probably it. Grimace was done, man. I sold them for parts after that.
Yeah,
my wife was always kind of worried after too, because like I'm taller, and she was like, man, you could have gotten smashed, and like the ceiling could. So now, like whenever we buy a car, she kind of like measures how much height from the ceiling to my head is. She doesn't want my head to get smashed.
Well, your hair is a good few inches, so
yeah, little cushion your
head. A good 2 inches. I might have had a shaved head at the time. I don't remember, but yeah, now it gives me a little padding. Let's see. Ooh, what's my next tweet here? Let's go to. I'm going to be a little bit faster this time, Abe, because I did it once before. Next tweet is from Miss Monica. One time my grandma butt dialed me, and she said, sorry, I didn't mean to booty call you. What in the fresh hell? Who taught her that? Who taught her that, Monica?
I don't know, but I think there's a lot of things that the older generation or even our generation just thinks means something and it means something else. I said, Grandma, I think you mean butt dial. And she was like, what?
Had she not ever heard of butt dial? She just knew it as a booty call.
Thought it was a booty call.
That's good.
What if she did mean it that way?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Come on, Joel, don't make it weird.
Yeah.
He
Poor
always makes it weird.
I make it weird. You're the one that goes over to your breaks a 10-year-old's heart and then goes and babysits him. You could have said no.
Why would I do that? I needed money. Not my problem.
Sucks for you, broken-hearted 10-year-old boy. Still dealing with that rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, slang is funny because I still use words that date me. Like I still say dope. So it's like, oh man, that's dope, or that's tight. And then now I'm like hesitant to say it now because it's just like they don't say that anymore. But I'm also too old to be saying stuff like lit. I've never said that in my whole life. I'm like, oh yeah, that was lit. Like, nah, I can't do it. I can't.
You don't really want to be the old guy trying to fit in with the new generation, right?
Mm-hmm,
it's like at a certain point, there's some transition period where you can get away with it, but at a certain point, like, yeah, that's just something that's not right for me to say.
Did you use a lot of slang before, Abe?
Some, but just like I said, I remember going through when I moved from Colorado to Nevada. The thing I immediately started hearing was hella. Man, that's hella tight. That's hella cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd never heard about that in Colorado. Colorado's stale. It's lame. This is hella. It's pretty cool. But then I kind of realized, oh, this is northern, basically farm country in Nevada, gleaming off of whatever they hear from California. Because anything that, especially Northern California, anything that was cool there, they'd kind of glom onto it. And so it's, that's just that's the only slang that I ever kind of started using was stuff that I had heard once I got there. But other than that, I was always kind of behind the times.
Yeah, there's what others? Drip. I think drip is funny. I had to figure out what that was. It's like, oh, he's stylish. It's like, oh, that's what that means. Like, oh, okay. I like using it now like an old man being like, how would I say it? I like saying it now knowing that I'm not cool. What is that?
Ironically.
What does that mean?
Like you're doing it just because like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
That is not an astute observation.
Like sometimes you do things because you like it, but then other times you do it ironically, like just to be a dork or funny or
yes,
whatever.
I'm a dork. Yes. Yeah. I do it to be a dork. Mm-hmm. That is the way that makes sense to me. I say it to be a dork.
You're not doing it like authentically. You're using it because you know that it's sort of the in thing right now, but you can also adapt it to other situations because you're a dork. Yeah.
What's it called? There was somebody had posted a tweet. It was like an iPod, and it was like the old iPod, and it was like we should have stopped there. And then I had tweeted about like, oh, we should have stopped at the boombox, and then they replied to me. It's like they said, "Okay, old man," and I was like, I think I am the old man. I'm old man on Twitter. It's like, oh, it doesn't hurt me. It makes me laugh. I might. Once we're done here, it might hurt me then, but right now it does not.
You're sensitive.
I am sensitive. I'm beta. I'm a simp. King of the simps. I love my wife. Simp.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Yeah. How dare you? Follow your vows.
But I as a guy who used to use a lot of slang, not knowing the slang to me is like, whoa, when did this happen? You little whippersnappers? Is this what we're talking about? There is that part. I used to like when I coached football, so I would hear what the kids would say. I was like, hey, Woody, explain this to coach right now. What is this? What does this mean? So that was always fun listening to like the teens, explain to me that their new slang.
Sometimes they don't know it though. Like I get so frustrated because kids always use like, oh, I stand that, like I stand him, whatever. And I'm like, do you know where that comes from? Like, do you know what that means? And they're like, it just means you're like obsessed. I'm like, okay, well, where does it come from?
Mm-hmm.
But it came from Eminem, his
Right.
song Stan,
Mm-hmm.
but they have no clue. I'm like, you
and
don't even know what you're saying.
It's a 20-year-old song.
Yeah. And there's actually like it basically I'm not sure if it originated there or it also started being synonymous with a stalker / fan. A stalker fan or a stan. But like you say, is that they don't know the origin of it. They just kind of know the meaning, the context, to them, but they don't really know where it comes from. But to them, that's almost like lame to know that. To them, all they need to know is what it kind of means to them, and that's good enough for them.
I mean, it's just kind of me saying astute. I don't even really know what it means, but I'm saying it.
Yeah. As long as you kind of know what it means, I guess it's all right.
I mean, can you be mad at them? They're using it in the right context. They don't really know where it comes from. I don't know where astute comes from. I just thought it sounded cool. It made me sound smart. For once, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. Even though you're not astute, you know how to use astute.
Yes. All that matters.
Yep. All that matters is they think you are.
How dare you, teenager, not know that Stan came from an Eminem song, from an album from an album that you should not have listened to, and an album we should not have been listening to either.
They should know that.
Play it in church.
I will.
Pastor, is it okay if I play some Eminem for worship this week? No, not okay. Oh, all right. I'll try the church down the street. We'll see if they take it.
They should be standing Jesus.
They should be standing Jesus.
Jesus.
Dear JC, I wrote about you, but you didn't.
You didn't get my letters.
You don't answer my prayers.
That sounds like a human video.
Rewrite that.
Yeah, you should. There you go.
Yeah. I got the Virgin Mary in my. I'll have to read.
I got her in the trunk.
I got the Virgin Mary in my trunk now.
Yeah. There you go. Take note. I'm sure this is getting something going on in that musical brain of yours, Monica.
Yeah, I'll get out my xylophone.
On your xylophone.
Right here.
Your glockenspiel.
Yeah, my glockenspiel.
What's a glockenspiel? Yeah.
Well, apparently a xylophone is when the keys are wooden and those are metal, so it's a glockenspiel. And I didn't know. I was like, I tried to buy a xylophone, but I really got a glockenspiel.
Abe, you're so smart.
Yeah. Well, no, I only knew it because she tweeted it out.
Oh.
I think the word glockenspiel is hilarious.
Oh, it is. I just knew that it was missing some keys. I was like, hey, there's some keys missing there. You might want to get your money back.
I could be like, there's a Glock in my Rari.
Yeah.
Somebody had tweeted at me because I tweeted to Monica, because Monica tweeted about her xylophone, and I guess there's some spaces there, and I knew there were supposed to be some spaces there, but I was like, oh, you got some pieces missing there, and somebody was like, it's supposed to be like that. I was like, I know, I'm joking.
Yeah.
My followers, some of them, they do not understand sarcasm, and I don't know why they follow me. Like,
right? Would you exactly?
And sometimes, like Fruity J, for example, he'll
shout out to Fruity J. He's hilarious.
He'll tweet something, and I'll comment, and my followers will see it, and they'll just like start going off on him, like trying to explain things to him. And he's like, "Did you do this?" I'm like, "What?" I have like 10 comments that like make no sense, and like people angry and. Where'd you guys come from?
That's the one thing that it either needs to be, although I think it may make it funner no matter what for the people that are in the know. If there was like a form of text or just an actual symbol, so that people know, by the way, this is absolutely sarcasm, because some people they just really live in a very literal world, and anything you write, oh my God, I can't believe you. And it's like, I'm trying to make this as obvious as possible that I'm making fun of this. Mm-hmm. Sarcasm, but in some people's world, sarcasm does not exist.
No,
they're the same. I am hilarious and I have a very good sense of humor, but this just isn't funny. That's exactly the same person who doesn't understand what sarcasm is.
I made a joke the other day and this girl was like, that's not nice. And I said, why are you following me? You're not going to have any fun here. And I was like, you know what? I should just block her because like, it's for her own benefit. And she made a TikTok about me. She made a TikTok about me blocking her. And like, it was the most insane thing I've ever
Was
seen.
it a musical TikTok or was it just like?
No, it was like screenshots and like all this writing about how unchristian I am and all
Oh,
these things. And I was like, I was telling a joke and you didn't get it. And I just don't want like, I don't want to hear every day like you're mean. I'm like, I'm just joking.
yeah.
Have a sense
I'm here to. I usually use like a laughing emoji, unless like I'm on commenting like on people who like know me already. It's like, oh, they already know I'm playing, so it's there's no need to explain. But like if I'm tweeting something on somebody else who's like they don't really know me, I make sure like, hey man, I'm playing.
This
so
is my own Twitter though.
no, I know.
This is my own tweet.
This is my, I
It's
don't
like,
have to,
yeah. If you don't get the jokes, that's your
Yeah.
problem.
yeah, because I think
People get really upset when you block them. Like, I don't know if you guys have to deal with that.
I don't think we're not as popular as you are.
No, I don't think people will care.
No,
People get enraged.
And I don't block that many people anyway, because I think they'll naturally, wander away if I offend them, which is a kind of a good thing probably, because it's like if you're not going to get that I'm joking or get my sense of humor or whatever else, it's probably best that we go ahead and just part ways now. And if you want to leave, go ahead and leave.
Yeah, but some of them I had one guy, he replied to everything I tweeted and he always just said really weird things that were like kind of creepy. Like they just didn't make any sense.
I really think this with I think you see it with very bigger accounts, whether they're men or women, and women who have like they may be lower level, like not like thousands of followers, but in general, if they have any kind of an opinion, they just tend to get these guys that are just completely upset. And it's like at a certain point, don't they kind of get that them trying to get their attention isn't getting them anywhere? But they just figure,
Weird.
oh, if I do this often enough, then it's going to get their attention. I'll get what I want. And it actually reminds me a lot of you guys. Either one of you read The Gift of Fear?
no.
It's basically this guy. He goes through and he talks to celebrities and political, and basically anybody who might have like stalkers or might have people that are become obsessed with them or whatever. And he actually had this example of they had I think it was a couple of business owners, a man and his wife, and they had fired somebody, and that ex-employee became obsessed with them, and he'd be leaving them messages and trying to get a hold of them and trying to say, how dare you, fire me, this and this and this. And then after leaving so many messages, they answered him and they said, please stop calling us and this and this and this. And this guy that wrote the book told the business owners, look, all you've done now is told him that in order to get his attention, he has, or to get your attention, he has to message you 102 times. So guess what he's going to do? He's going to keep messaging you. So basically what he had him do was that phone number, they basically left the messaging service with them, and then they ended up moving all of their business to another phone number. They left that one open just for him, and he just keep calling. And after I don't know how long, like 6 months or whatever else, he stopped calling eventually.
Dang, 6 months.
But that's what it took. Because some people just have this mindset. It's like I'm just going to keep doing this, and I'll get their attention eventually. And that's why I say I look at some of these accounts like Monica's, and there's no other recourse than to block them, because what's the alternative is, oh, I'm just going to have them keep messaging me. I'm going to get these things forever.
This guy, right? Every day. Hello, how are you? Do you like music? What music do you like? You look beautiful in your profile picture. Hello, how are you? All freaking day. Please follow me back. Please follow me back. I've never answered once, and he just keeps going forever.
No way.
It's psychotic.
Yeah, and then
he blocked. Today he blocked me, so that's good. But
he blocked you
before. He did that like a week ago. He blocked me and then unblocked me.
So he couldn't stand it.
Yeah, he'll come back. Yeah,
and I want to block him, but I'm like, this is too entertaining. And I've blocked people like that before. I had one guy, I blocked him. He made 2 new accounts, and then he went on an old account that I have that no one even knows about, that's private. I have no clue how he found it, and he sent me like a book. It was psychotic. So it's like there's no point in even blocking people. I just can't imagine doing that with my time. Like caring what a stranger on the internet, like.
Yeah,
I block rarely, but sometimes like I see people like talk disrespectfully. I'm like, all right, no.
Yeah.
That's really about it. Like you can joke with me, but just don't be disrespectful like the straight up like name calling me. Like, no, man. Like, see you later. Yeah, that's pretty strange. So, yeah, and I really don't do it, but also I'm not the lightning rod. I think Abe and I combined are a lightning rod. You tweet like something regular, like, "Oh, I ate oatmeal today," and then people will be like, "Well, you
How
eat carbs?"
dare you?
Like, "Oh my gosh, you're not eating enough." Yeah, so it'll just lightning rod. I think I have one last video here to share. This one's pretty funny. Oops.
Come on, Joel, you can do it.
I know, but I'm trying to set the video now. So this is we've added a whole nother layer of complexity here.
Complexity, yeah. Now you have to say share and then play. So take your time. Shares. Reminds me of the IT call I had to do yesterday with my mom.
Oh no!
Essentially in Spanish.
Oh, that's always fun.
Some application that I had her download. So, all right.
You guys see the screen? I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hopefully, you guys can hear it. Let me see.
We went right back to the call.
Could you guys hear it? Oh
no.
no, I don't know how you would hear it. It's I can hear it in my headphones.
He's just talking on the phone.
Yeah, he's talking on the phone, and he's talking about leadership or something like that. Because I actually never heard it, but I could hear it right now. And he just power moves it
right there, and it's like boom, right to a sitting position, and keep the call going.
Take his shoes out of the water.
I meant to do it.
Oh, now he does.
Yep, it was intentional.
I mean, he was already there.
But like he had to have not said whoa or anything. Like I'd be like, oh, like I would have said something. I've tripped up while I was on the phone before, and I made a noise. He just held it together.
I'm a noisemaker. I think that's part of being a dad. I'm very good at making
loud.
No, but just noises and sounds, like sound effects. Like if there's a sound effects to be made, oh, well, there's the elephant. Guess who's making elephant noises? Here comes daddy's making elephant noises. You have to do it, even if it's not good. I'm still doing it. My
question is why, like, men will sneeze normal and then they become dads and they just acquire the loudest, most dramatic sneeze in the world.
I don't know. Maybe to wake the baby. I don't know. That's the baby. Like all the kids, they'll be sleeping and their hands are like this, and then the baby, just this whole thing right here. I don't know what it is, but yeah, my wife don't. I think each kid you have too, your sneeze gets louder and louder, and it's like the setup of it too. It's like boom, sonic
so
boom.
Dramatic.
I don't know what it is, but it's true. I didn't get my grown man strength, right? Like usually, like, by now I should have had my grown man strength, but I think it's because I just do office work. But I got my dad voice. Like it's really loud. My wife is always like, "Hey, you're really loud." I'm like, this is my quiet voice. Or the like, stop yelling. It's like this. Like if I what is it? If I was yelling, you would know it. Like that whole thing. That's I'm at that stage. But the sneezing is for real.
It's acquired, the more kids. That's why it's scientifically proven that Mormon dads have the loudest sneeze in the
world. We're gonna have to record our boy Jeff Putnam sneezing.
Yeah. Hold on. You hear that? Yeah, he just sneezed.
Yeah.
And I'm in Arkansas.
I'm in Arkansas. I can hear him sneeze. But what else?
What were we talking about? The video?
The dad video?
Yeah.
Oh, so rub some dirt on it, dads.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever rub some dirt on it, Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever, like, again, I think I explained Pittsburgh dads to you guys before. They just yell about things that are so irrelevant. But did you guys ever get grounded for something really stupid? Like, like it just depended on what mood my dad was in. But I remember one day we were eating dinner, and I was eating mashed potatoes with a spoon. And my dad freaked out and he was like, "You need to eat those with a fork. Go to your room." And I was like, "What?" He said, "You don't eat mashed potatoes with a spoon." I was like to this day, I cannot figure it out. I'm like, what? Who eats mashed potatoes with a fork?
Well, you do normally if you're eating your dinner, but if you're just eating it by itself, I can see using a spoon.
Even if you're eating your dinner and you have a spoon beside you, when you use a spoon to eat your mashed potatoes,
Oh, you use more than one utensil to eat?
you don't have a fork, knife, and spoon when you're a kid? No. We had to set the table and we use all that.
I had the weirdest look on my, like, a complete confusion. I had a neighbor that was semi-normal. They lived across the street when I was growing up in Colorado. And one time they had me over for dinner, and they had corn on the cob, but they had the little things that go on the side of the corn. You could eat them like that. And I was looking, I was like, what is this contraption? You guys are like wizards. It was like, and they're like looking at me like, oh my God.
Like
that was actually the first time, I swear to God, that I'd ever eaten with a fork and a knife, so that I could, and I'm left-handed, so it's kind of awkward.
Oh, you are, Abe?
Yeah. I couldn't figure out which hand I was supposed to cut the meat with. So I was like, I kept switching them to see which one felt like more. And they're all like looking at me. It was the mom and the dad and my friend. They're looking at me like, is he okay in the head?
Who is this savage that we just invited over for dinner? Abe, I'm
I've never
left-handed
seen
too. I think we really might be family.
Yeah. That's sign that proves it right there.
That proves it. We're both
Lopez,
left-handed.
Mexican, left-handed.
Both left-handed.
Gotta be.
Boom.
Yeah.
Aren't all Mexicans
There's too much intersection in the Venn diagram.
The Venn diagram. Yeah. I don't know. Are all left? I don't think so. My brother's not.
I'm just kidding.
What's that?
But a lot of my uncles are, though.
Yeah, we have a lot of lefties in our family for whatever reason. Yeah.
I
Maybe a relic of the Aztec blood or something. Maybe they had a lot of lefties.
I don't know. I just remember being in kindergarten and try to cut stuff with the scissors, and it was just like the paper would just fold. And
you
being
always
like,
needed the green handled ones.
I didn't even know and those didn't really work well either. So it's just like, dude, you could see everybody else was cutting, no big deal.
Yeah,
and me just struggling. My paper's getting all wrinkled. Like, dude, how come I can't just cut like everybody else? I think there's some.
Can you write like in pencil, like normal, or do you have to like turn the page or?
No, but I had like this whole like, but my writing is ugly already too. Yeah. So
I always get a bunch of gray on the inside of my.
Yeah.
So
I never noticed it until people started making fun of me. Like, what are you talking about?
No, they weren't talking about the left-handedness though.
Nah, they were just making fun of me.
Talk about other stuff.
I'm sure there was plenty to talk about. It wasn't until I was older that my dad like got mad at me because I had long hair. I was growing long hair. He said he was gonna kick me out of the house if I didn't cut my hair. I was like, what the heck? I was a good kid too. I was like, they have no reason for me, but I don't know. He was ready for me to be out the house. You better cut your hair if you're gonna stay here. Oh, all right. This is crazy. How about you, Abe? I think that's why we get along though. You have dads that kind of put it down. That makes a difference. You have a dad who like will check you, and you have like friends who don't. You're like, oh man, you pop off a lot.
Yeah,
I do too, but still, I contain my popping off.
Yeah. My mostly like my stepdad, and he kind of had that real. He was very kind, but he also had kind of the the whole rub some dirt on it. Don't worry about it too much. Remember one time we lived about 3 or 4 miles out of town, and it's a small town anyway in Colorado. We went for a bike ride, and we're coming back up, and ended up being right in the middle of a hailstorm. Oof. And I think he just kept on trucking back to the house, and I got basically stuck right in the middle of a hailstorm, and it was coming down on me, and I was just crying. I couldn't bike anymore. And he comes back with a car, and he picked me up and put the bike in the car, whatever else. And I was there, and I was almost like crying. He's like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "It's not hailing that bad. I mean, it was hailing a little bit, but don't be crying about it." That's about the one that really sticks in my mind, where he's like, "Yeah, don't cry about that, man. Come on, man,
stop.
Yeah, stop. You're just embarrassing yourself now."
You were 6 years old.
yeah, but but it was one of those sorts of things where it's like, nah, there's no need for all that all that commotion. Just a little hail.
Yeah, my kids, man, they'll start freaking out. Like if I'm walking, like we will walk to the park, and I start walking up ahead of them, like, Daddy, wait, Daddy. It's like, there's no. Hey, Abe was in the hail. There's no hail. This is nice. It's a little warm. Yeah, it's 112. No big deal. There's no hail. I'm just gonna get the air conditioning started. All right, stop crying, 6-year-old little boy.
Well, anything else?
No, I think it comes up on the hour already.
I think so.
I just wanted to have the awkward silence for a little bit.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
It's gonna marinate. Let that marinate.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, folks. This is the Read Your Tweets edition of the Read Your Keys podcast. My smart friend Abe.
Astute friend.
Astute.
Yeah, get it right.
Ironically, Monica.
Ironica.
Veronica. Nice.
You're welcome. We'll be waiting for the church remix version of Stan. We wait for it.
I stand with arms wide open.
I stand.
Arms high.
Creed.
Heart abandoned.
It's a Creed Eminem mashup.
Yes. That's taking it back to 1999. Perfect.
Yeah.
We're due. All right, everybody. This has been fun. This is the Read Your Keys podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, do that whole thing. And until next time, have a good one, everybody.